Yo, what's up, you guys? BoxingWave here. I didn't even know this fight was going to be in Madison Square Garden. Crawford against Felix Diaz. I had no idea. I found out this morning. All right, and you know, if I don't go away for the weekend, I'm thinking about going away next weekend. If I don't go away, I might end up picking up a couple tickets and going out to the fight. We'll see. But I highly rate Felix Diaz. You know, I know I don't talk about him too much, but I'm well aware of him. And, you know, I think he is one of the most underrated boxers in the sport. Underrated. I think he's extremely dangerous. And he's that guy that most fighters, most top-tier fighters would normally avoid. Like, normally they would avoid guys like this. I'm very surprised Terence Crawford is fighting this guy, because as good as Diaz is, a lot of people don't know about him. And I think if Crawford didn't fight him, people wouldn't have said too much, you know? I don't think people would have really, you know, I know Diaz was coming out and speaking out on people ducking him and everything. But I think if Crawford did not fight him, you wouldn't have heard too much from the fans. You wouldn't have heard much. And I'm very surprised that Crawford is fighting him. And I'm happy, because if Crawford ends up beating Diaz and looks impressive doing it, you know, I think it would truly, it would even further show how good he really is, you know, because so far I've seen Crawford lose a couple rounds here and there, but I haven't seen him really in danger, you know. I haven't really seen him fight his way to a win, you know. Not like a really close fight. I haven't seen it. You know, I've seen him lose some rounds. You know, I've seen him down on the cards a little bit. But in this fight, this is going to be the one. I think people are going to be walking away from this fight, and I think Crawford's going to win. You know what? I'm going to do another video on this. Definitely going to, I want to go back and watch some vids, you know, and give you a thorough breakdown. Maybe I might even wait until after the weigh-in next week. But let me tell you something. This is going to be the fight that, when it's over, people are going to want a rematch. You know, I think Crawford's going to win by a decision, but I think it's going to be a close one. Because Diaz, let me tell you something about Diaz. He's not tall. He's not lengthy or nothing like that, but he's used to fighting tall guys. You know, southpaws too. You know, that Vasquez fight wasn't no fluke, man. That kid is good. You know, he's a well-decorated fighter. You know, he was an Olympic gold medalist. He was, you know, he fought Lamont Peterson. People think he won that fight, beating Sammy Vasquez, you know, and I know that was a last-minute fight, but he still beat him. He beat him. He's undefeated. You know, he beat him while he was undefeated. And at that time, not too many people out there wanted to fight Sammy Vasquez. You know, he beat Adrian Granados. The dude is good. The dude can scrap. The dude can brawl, and he can box, just like Terence Crawford could. And I don't think Crawford is going to be showing him anything that we haven't seen from Crawford. I mean, I don't think Crawford is going to bring anything new to Felix Diaz. I think Crawford, either way, whether he boxes or brawls with this guy, it's going to be dangerous for him. And that's the thing with Diaz. He mixes it very well. Okay? He has some inside game, and he's going to be working on trying to get on the inside. But he fights well, even from the outside, even if he's a shorter guy. All right? He don't have the length, but he can fight well on the outside, well enough, and he can hold his own on the outside. Let me tell you something. I think Felix Diaz, I'm going to go as far as this. I think Felix Diaz right now would beat anybody that Terence Crawford beat. Ricky Burns, Victor Postal, you know, whoever. John Molina, Hank Lundy, Gamboa. Right now, Felix Diaz would beat all of them, in my opinion. You don't have to like it. It's my opinion. Not only that, but I think Felix Diaz can probably beat everybody else at 140. That's my opinion. You know? I think he could beat Amir Imam. I think he could beat Adrian Broner. I think he could possibly beat Adrian Broner. That'd be a bad fight for Broner. I think Felix Diaz and his way of mixing up with the brawling and the boxing, you know, he's tricky, you know, and he likes to, you know, he'll explode at you on you in any given moment. You know, it's gonna be a tough fight for Crawford, man. I don't know. If anybody could pull off the upset, it's gonna be this kid right here. Anybody could do it. You know, I know we used to seeing Crawford, you know, start out fighting as a righty, and it switches it up. But this time around, it's not gonna really matter if he's fighting southpaw or not. He's gonna have trouble with this kid. And if Crawford, let me tell you something. If Crawford is able to beat Felix Diaz clearly, that goes to show you how good he is. Because I already rate him as a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. But if this is going to be the fight we're all going to remember. Oh, remember that fight with Diaz? Oh, Diaz, he looked bad against Diaz. Think years from now, you know, people are going to be bringing that up with Terence Crawford. Oh, yeah, I thought he won that Diaz fight. I think that's how it's going to look. I think Crawford's going to win, but Diaz is no joke, man. Just like Lamont Peterson. You know, a lot of people think Diaz, you know, a lot of people think Diaz won that fight. People think Peterson got a gift. You know, Diaz is a good ambush fighter. And he's a good boxer at that. And he can brawl. He's well-rounded. He's a well-rounded fighter. You know, and Crawford, you know, I think Crawford, he's going to have to play it safe. He played it safe a lot with the Postal fight. And I think he could have really stopped Postal. You know, I think he could have. If he really pressed the fight like that, he could have. But he played it safe. You know, he played it safe. And in that moments, he went, like, I think, and even at the 12th round, he went to try to stop Postal at times. But he played it safe for the most part. And I think he has to do that here because I think Diaz has a good chance of hurting Crawford or dropping him by, you know, ambushing him, you know, or turning it into a brawl. And that's the one thing with Crawford, you know, he gets hit. Crawford likes to brawl it out sometimes. He does. And you can get him to brawl with you. That's the one problem. He's a great boxer. You know, I mean, he knows how to use his length like no other. Very few in this sport. But he likes to scrap and brawl it out sometimes. He loves it. You can tell. You know, that's what happened with him and Gamboa. I know Gamboa is a smaller guy and everything. But he leaves himself open to get caught with one, you know, at times. And that's what makes him so exciting because he wants to make a good fight out of it, you know. But with Diaz, he has to be very careful because Diaz is going to be trying to counter him. You know, I don't think this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to have to try shit out. No, Terence Crawford is going to come out. He usually comes out a little slow. And you can get the first couple rounds against him. You know, but yeah, and this might happen. I think in the first couple rounds, I think Diaz might be giving him issues. So Terence Crawford is great at adjusting. But what I'm saying, out of all of the fights, this is a fight where Crawford could be making adjustments midway through the fight and still have a tough time. Just my opinion, man. So I'll do another video on this. You know, I'll probably do a last, you know, breakdown maybe, you know. But I still think Crawford's gonna win by decision. It's definitely not gonna be no knockout here. Ain't no way. I don't think it's gonna be a knockout. But don't sleep on Diaz because he could catch Crawford with something, man. And we might see Crawford in trouble for the first time ever in his career in this fight here. Or you can see Diaz in trouble. I don't know, but don't sleep on Felix Diaz. All right. So if I do another video, I'll probably do one after the weigh-in, but great fight. High level fight here. High level, top notch fight. Just, you know, it's not the biggest name, but this is one of the better fights you're going to get. And you know what? The matchup is a good matchup. You're not only getting two top fighters at 140. I think Diaz was fighting at 147 before, but not only are you getting two top fighters in that division, but it's a good matchup stylistically, because both of these guys are great boxers that can brawl at the same time, and that makes for an excellent fight. This is an excellent fight. I should really go to this fight, but I don't know. I've been to so many fights this year, man. It's very expensive. All right, so I'm out on that one. All right, peace.